Down on his luck mechanic gives a ride to a hitchhiker. Unaware she's a runaway millionaire. What if you picked up a stranger on a run, only to discover she was the daughter of a billionaire criminal empire, and you were the only person standing between her and death? The desert sun bled crimson across the horizon, casting long shadows over cracked asphalt of a forgotten lot in rural Nevada. Nash Walker's pickup truck coughed its last breath. The engine sputtered a mocking echo of his own dwindling hope. At 32, Nash was a man worn thin by life. Unpaid repair jobs, a garage on the brink of foreclosure, and a gas tank as empty as his prospects. He leaned against the steering wheel, the torn leather seat groaning under his weight, and muttered a curse. Then he saw her. A figure stumbled from the dusk, her silhouette jagged with urgency. She was young, mid-20s, her dark hair a tangled mess, her clothes, jeans, and a faded hoodie, smeared with dirt and torn at the seams. She ran toward his truck, arms flailing, her voice piercing the stillness. "Please, I need a ride. Anywhere, just go." Nash's hand froze on the ignition. Her green eyes, wide with terror, locked onto his through the grimy window. She pounded on the glass, her knuckles raw. "Please, I'm begging you. They're coming." "Who's they?" Nash asked, his voice rough, scanning the empty lot for headlights or worse. His gut screamed trouble, the kind that could bury a man already 6 feet under. "I can't. There's no time," she gasped, glancing over her shoulder. "I'll pay you. Just drive." She fumbled in her pocket, pulling out a crumpled wad of cash, hundreds, maybe thousands, and shoved it toward him. The sight of the money twisted something in Nash's chest. It was real, but her story wasn't. "Lady, I don't know what you're running from, but I'm not your getaway driver. I'm not a criminal," she snapped, her voice cracking. "I'm Tessa. Just Tessa. I swear I'm not trouble. I need to get away, and I'll make it worth your while." Every instinct told him to walk away, if the damn truck could move, but her fear, raw and undeniable, tugged at the frayed edges of his conscience. He sighed, unlocking the passenger door. "Get in. But you lied to me and you're out." Tessa scrambled in, clutching a worn backpack, her body trembling as she sank into the seat. Nash coaxed the engine to life, the truck rattling onto the deserted highway. The silence between them was heavy, broken only by the hum of tires and the occasional creak of a chassis. Tessa stared out the window, her fingers twitching, her posture coiled like a spring ready to snap. Nash stole glances, trying to read her. Her clothes screamed hardship, but her hands, soft, unscarred, hinted at a life far from the dust and grit of his world. Who was she, and what was she running from? The highway stretched into the night, a black ribbon under a starless sky. The gas needle hovered near empty, and Nash's patience was running just as low. Tessa hadn't spoken in hours, her gaze fixed on the darkness. Finally, he broke the silence. "So, Tessa," he said, voice edged with irritation, "you gonna tell me where we're headed, or am I just driving till we hit the ocean?" She flinched, her fingers tightening on the backpack. "Just keep going. I'll know when we get there. I'll cover gas, food, anything you need." "Yeah, about that." He nodded toward the glove box where she'd stuffed the cash. "That's a lot of money for someone dressed like they're one step from homeless. You robbing banks or something." Her jaw clenched. "It's mine. That's all you need to know." Nash snorted. "I'm risking my neck here, lady. Give me something, or this ride ends at the next mile marker." She hesitated, then reached into the glove box, pulling out the cash in a thick manila envelope. "Take it," she said, her voice low. "Just don't ask questions." Curiosity burned hotter than his caution. At a gas station, while Tessa disappeared into the restroom, Nash opened the envelope. His breath caught. Stacks of $100 bills, tens of thousands at least, sat alongside legal documents stamped with the logo of Whitmore Industries. Pages of financial records, emails, and contracts with terms like offshore accounts, wire transfers, and shell corporations glaring in black ink. His heart pounded. This wasn't just money. This was a ticking bomb. When Tessa returned, he held up the envelope, his voice tight. "You want to explain why you're carrying a fortune and corporate secrets?" Her face drained of color. "You went through my stuff?" It's my truck, he shot back. Tessa, or whatever your name is, you better start talking or you're walking. I'm not a criminal, she whispered, tears welling. I can't go back. Please, Nash. Just drive. He wanted to ditch her, to leave this mess behind. But her eyes, fear mixed with a spark of defiance, held him. He tossed the envelope back and gripped the wheel. Fine, but you're telling me the truth soon or I'm done. A storm rolled in by midnight, rain lashing the truck as lightning tore the sky. Nash pulled into an abandoned rest stop, its neon sign flickering welcome like a cruel joke. Inside a musty office, they found shelter, the air thick with mildew and regret. Tessa curled up on a bench, clutching her backpack, and soon her breathing softened into sleep. Nash sat across from her, his mind racing, unable to rest. In her sleep, Tessa mumbled, words slipping out like fragments of a nightmare. Whitmore, Dad, I won't marry him, the documents. Nash froze. Whitmore, Nathaniel Whitmore, the billionaire behind Whitmore Industries, a name that dominated headlines with wealth and power. He leaned closer, catching more. Fraud, laundering, he'll kill me. His blood ran cold. He shook her awake. Tessa, who are you running from? Your father? Her eyes snapped open, wide with panic. For a moment, she looked ready to bolt, but then she slumped, defeated. You heard me, she whispered. I'm Tessa Whitmore. My father's Nathaniel Whitmore. He's not the man the world thinks. His empire, fraud, money laundering, racketeering. I found proof in his office. Those documents expose everything. He wanted me to marry some CEO to seal a merger, to keep me under his thumb. I stole the evidence and ran. Nash's mind reeled. So you're a billionaire's daughter, on the run with evidence that could destroy him? And he's got people after you? She nodded, tears spilling. If he finds me, I'm dead. He's done worse to keep his secrets. He ran a hand through his hair, cursing his luck. Picking her up was the worst decision he'd ever made, or maybe the only one that mattered. Her courage, her defiance against a man like Whitmore, stirred something in him. All right, he said, voice steady. I'm in, but we need a plan, and no more secrets. What would you do if you held the key to toppling a corrupt empire, but it meant risking your life, and the life of someone who trusted you? Like and subscribe to soul-stirring stories to share your thoughts, and dive into more tales of courage and redemption. Dawn broke, but the storm hadn't passed. Headlights pierced the fog outside the rest stop. 3 black SUVs, their engines growling like predators. Men in dark suits stepped out, their movements precise, lethal. Nash's stomach dropped. Your father's goons? Tessa nodded, her face ashen. They found me. Follow my lead. Nash whispered, pulling her close and slipping an arm around her waist. They stepped outside, playing a desperate charade. Hey, fellas, he called, forcing a grin. Just passing through with my girl. Everything okay? A hulking man with a scar across his cheek stepped forward, his eyes cold. We're looking for a woman. Young, dark hair. Seen her. Nash's grip on Tessa tightened. Just me and my girlfriend. Haven't seen anyone else. Scarface's gaze flicked to Tessa, then to her backpack. Another man shouted, That's her bag! The ruse shattered. Nash acted on instinct, shoving a picnic table into Scarface, toppling him. Run, he yelled, dragging Tessa to the truck. Bullets pinged off the chassis as he floored it, tires screeching on wet pavement. They tore down back roads, losing the SUVs in a labyrinth of dirt trails. By noon, they found refuge in an abandoned cabin deep in the woods, its sagging walls a fragile shield. Inside, Nash spread the documents on a dusty table. Pages of bank records, emails, and contracts painted a damning picture. Nathaniel Whitmore's empire was a web of crime, built on fraud and blood. This could end him. Nash said, awed, but we can't hide forever. We need to go public. Tessa's eyes hardened. There's a reporter in Carson City, Elena Marquez. She's been digging into Whitmore Industries for years. If we get this to her, it's over. They planned to move at dawn, but trust was a tightrope. Nash caught Tessa staring at the documents, her expression unreadable. Was she fully with him, or was she playing a deeper game? Morning brought betrayal. Nash woke to an empty cabin. The truck, money, and documents gone. Rage and hurt burned through him. Had she used him? Played him for a fool, only to ditch him when she got what she needed? He kicked the doorframe, cursing his naivety. But then he saw tire tracks in the mud, leading north. She hadn't vanished without a trace. Fueled by stubborn resolve, Nash hitched a ride to a nearby town, borrowing a beat-up sedan from a junkyard. The tracks led to an industrial complex, a maze of warehouses shrouded in fog. He crept closer, spotting his truck near a loading dock. Inside a warehouse, Tessa was bound to a chair, her face bruised, surrounded by 3 men. A 4th figure stood in the shadows. Nathaniel Whitmore himself, his tailored suit a stark contrast to the grime. "You thought you could ruin me?" Whitmore sneered, his voice cold as ice. "You're nothing, Tessa, a pawn who forgot her place." Nash's blood boiled. He didn't have a plan, just a wrench in the sedan and a desperate need to act. He hot-wired a forklift, crashing it through the warehouse doors, drawing the guard's attention. In the chaos, he tackled one, the wrench meeting skull with a sickening crack. He freed Tessa, shoving a USB drive, where he'd copied the documents during the night, into her hands. "Run," he hissed. "Get to Marquez. I'll hold them off." Tessa's eyes glistened with guilt. "Nash, I'm sorry. I left to protect you. I thought they'd leave you alone." "Go!" he roared, shoving her toward the exit. As Tessa fled, Nash drew the guard's fire, diving behind crates. A bullet grazed his shoulder, pain searing, but he kept moving, leading them away. Sirens wailed. Someone had tipped off the cops. Tessa reached Marquez, and within hours, the documents were online, exposing Whitmore's crimes. Nathaniel was arrested, his empire collapsing in real time. Nash woke in a hospital bed, his shoulder bandaged, the news blaring about Whitmore's downfall. Tessa sat beside him, her hand on his. "You saved me," she whispered, "and you saved the truth." 6 months later, Clearwater Bay was a world away from that dusty lot. Nash and Tessa stood on a beach, waves lapping at their feet, their handcrafted cabin glowing warm in the twilight. Freedom Motors, their garage, was a beacon of second chances, fixing cars and lives with equal care. Tessa, once caged by wealth, now thrived in overalls, her hands calloused from gardening, her smile radiant. Nash, once adrift, found purpose in their shared dream. That night, under a sky ablaze with stars, Nash knelt on the sand, a simple silver ring in his hand. "Tessa, I'd stop for you 1,000 times. Marry me?" Her laugh was pure, unguarded. "Yes," she whispered, slipping the ring on. They kissed, the ocean their witness, free at last. Their story, one of resilience and love, proves second chances are worth fighting for. Share your own moments of redemption in the comments, and like and subscribe to soul-stirring stories for more tales that touch the heart. Nash and Tessa's journey wasn't just about escaping the past. It was about building a future. Whitmore's empire was gone, his crimes laid bare, and the couple's new life was a testament to trust forged in fire. As they stood together, the cabin's light behind them, the road ahead was theirs, clear and boundless.